eating. Final one here. In fact, this one's large enough, I might divide this up so it gets its own section. So you might have a part 2 cut right here, because we got a couple of big old packages from another frequent fan mailer, Some Neat. And he goes epic. That's his style, epic. So we got 2 big boxes here. What do we have for today? Alrighty. Okay. Alright, first up, double feature, Homefront End of Watch. Fun fact, Homefront is actually written by Steven Seagal. Oh, I was about to say Steven Seagal because we're just doing this already with Steven Seagal. That is so totally wrong. So wrong. Totally different SS name. My brain saw SS and went the wrong direction. Written by Sylvester Stallone. Just a little bit different from Steven Seagal. But written by Sylvester Stallone, and it's one of those movies I actually go to bed watching a lot. And so whenever it drops off of streaming services, I can't do that anymore. Problem solved. Thank you, kind sir. Then we have Identity and Vacancy. Identity is the James Mangold film that I actually saw in the theater when it first came out. And Vacancy, a movie I have not seen yet, but I actually, in my creative days of doing church videos where I would do scripted stuff that was pretty wild and crazy, I actually used the music from this movie for a sequence. It was actually a really cool sequence. It was a great little horror bit that might still be out there somewhere, but like one of the better directed things I've ever done. And I used the music from Vacancy, even though I hadn't seen the movie Vacancy. Then we have, I'm not even familiar with this one. We've got Justice League vs. RWBY. I'm assuming that is anime stuff, so it is a world that I'm not familiar with. I did not realize this came out. I wonder how much my kids know the anime stuff and how much this could make for a very interesting little feature for the family. Here's one I definitely know. Titanic, the absolute legendary film from one of my absolute favorite directors of all time, and in nice 4K. I'll definitely be doing a James Cameron rewatch leading up to his new film this December, so this bad boy right here will absolutely be getting used in the near future. We've got Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead's one of my favorite horror franchises, and the new movie came out. I thought it was a nice, solid addition, and now got a copy of it. Thank you so much. We've got Over the Top, the best movie about competitive trucker arm wrestling ever made. Just a classic 80s product from the era of Stallone, where he could sell any pitch, and Cannon wanted to get into the Stallone game, and he's like, I'm an arm wrestler and a trucker trying to get rights to my son through arm wrestling. And they went, boom, let's do it. And I don't think it performed as well as they wanted it to, but at the same time, it stood the test of time and introduced the idea of flipping the switch, turning your hat backwards, and going into full drive. All right, next one. Okay. Next segment right here, we've got the Silent Night, Deadly Night collection. I have not seen any of these movies. Now, like everyone else, I have seen this guy right here in little clips on YouTube of him going, Garbage Day! I've seen that. That is really my knowledge of the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise. I don't know anything beyond this guy right here's overacting. So this is a blind spot for me. And one of the things that was a recent discovery that I didn't realize, this the one that they did like 10 years ago was done by Stephen Miller, who I interviewed back in December when his movie Werewolves came out. The Purge with Werewolves Hips, that movie, with the guy that directed this movie, directed that film. I interviewed him, but I had not seen Silent Night, so I could not comment on it. So these are all blind spots for me, filling in my missing slots in my horror filmography. Thank you, kind sir. We've got Scream 6, the one that recently came out. Didn't own this one yet. For me, Scream is another one of these franchises that they're all very watchable films. The worst of them are still solid enough. And I'm currently watching through all these movies with my son. We've made it through the third film. We're doing like one a month. So in March, we'll watch Scream 4. So I guess that means in May, I'll be pulling this one out to watch that one with my boy. Then we've got The Cursed. I don't know too much about this. Is this the werewolf one that came out a couple years back? Am I right about that? Yeah, I think it's the werewolf one that came out a couple years back that I think Cody did Sundance virtually, and this was like the one movie that he actually really dug from it. I think that's the case. That's my knowledge of it. So I know Cody liked it. So that's kind of where I'm at on that one. Got Justice League War World, one of our animated Justice League films. Another one that I have not watched yet. I've fallen a little bit behind on my DC animated films. I like to watch those, but sometimes I just miss them as they come out. Then we've got a pair of SpongeBob movies. There's a new SpongeBob movie coming out later this year. I've never seen any SpongeBob movies before. For that matter, I've never seen a full episode of SpongeBob. I am just a little bit too old to have been a part of that generation. So maybe it is time for me to catch up with a new SpongeBob movie coming out in the very near future. Oh, fun. I forgot to mention this. This guy right here is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. Just found that out last week. Oh, can't do that. All right. Going through here, we got Gangs of New York, the Scorsese film. Watched that one for the first time just a couple years ago. We've got a couple of Mickey Mouse holiday features. Oh, fun. Oh, very cool. Very cool. We've got, I'm assuming, yeah. We've got the Expendables. Make my face disappear. If I do that, does it work? What do I need to do? There you go. There we go. Expendables Quadrilogy Steelbook. Steelbook. Very, very, very cool. My wife still hasn't seen the fourth one, so now she can finally see that one. Then we've got a Bruce Willis trilogy of films right there. So remember when Last Man Standing came out, because it is a loose adaptation of A Fistful of Dollars, which is itself a remake of Yojimbo. And so just taking that classic story format and throwing it in different eras, and this one was with Bruce Willis. Then we've got the Poltergeist remake, the extended version of it, and Dances with Wolves, a movie somehow I have never seen. So this is a need to watch in the near future for me. Okay. Then we've got The Kingdom and Miami Vice, two different Jamie Foxx films I have not seen yet somehow. Oh, fun. Blue Beetle, one of the last of the DCEU films. I had a good time with it. My whole family had a good time with this one. And so need to give it another watch. And now I can do so. We actually have like they like had swag hats at the screening. And as we were leaving, like, you want to just take like a stack of these? So we have like 10 Blue Beetle hats. So we can put on 2 hats apiece and rewatch that one. Here's another blind spot or missing spot in my viewing history. I've never seen It Follows, which every time I say that, people are like, what? How have you never seen It Follows? I don't know. I just missed it. We got Wolf Creek, another one I have not seen. This is in fancy steelbook. And then continuing in this theme, I haven't seen it, Descent. I have not seen Descent yet. Don't know too much about that one. And then one of the movies I thoroughly enjoyed from last year, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. My wife hasn't seen it yet because I took my son to the press screening. He had a blast with it. I had a great time with it. So need to catch the rest of the family up on this one. And now we can do so. And then we've got this fun guy. That fun guy actually means something. And that is not what that is. This fun little guy right here. Actually, this is the opposite of a fun comic book because it's super duper depressing and its premise is very depressing. One of the most celebrated graphic novels of all time, The Killing Joke in Deluxe Edition, and like a really important, influential story that bleak as can be. Thank you, kind sir. There's a second box. That's only the first half of our little adventure here. bunch of these things out to keep it a little bit easier as we go through this. Okay. Whew! All right, what do we have in here? First off, we've got The Exorcist, in which edition? The extended director's cut and the original theatrical edition of the film. One of the best horror movies ever made. And we got a Mike Flanagan continuation coming up in the near future. But now I got the fancy 4K edition for whenever I do that rewatch in the future. Then we've got Shazam! Fury of the Gods. This is one I still need to watch with my family because we all thoroughly enjoyed the first movie, and then was just busy when the press screening came out, so I took like a friend to it. So none of them have seen the sequel yet. So I know it was like the movie everyone wanted to pick on, and got blasted when it came out a couple years ago. But I thought it was fine. Like, it was had things about it that I thought were an improvement on the first one. A lot of things that weren't quite as good, but I never all the blasting of it felt very strange to me. Then we got Scarface. This is one I really need to rewatch. I have seen it, but it's been like 20 years, and so long before I was in movie critic mode, so I need to give that one another watch. Disturbia, one of those movies that was a part of Shia's transition into movie stardom as like a leading man of films right around when Transformers came out. And this was like, because I didn't watch him as like a child actor on Nickelodeon or Disney or wherever he had his TV show, like I had never seen any of that. And then I was aware of Holes, but I didn't like, I think I'd seen Holes by the time this came out, but it didn't cross my mind that it was the same person. So in a lot of ways, this was my introduction to Shia LaBeouf, and just thought like had a very naturalistic way of acting that felt like a real person. What do we got next? We got Creed 3. Love the Rocky franchise. Love the Creed movies. So of course that was a must-have for my collection. Thank you much, kind sir. Moving right along, we've got Equalizer 3. Just a solid retro action trilogy. Each one delivers the goods. This one moved our setting to Europe, which just kind of added a nice new flavor to everything. Okay, so we got Avatar, Way of Water, Steelbook. Of course, I'll be rewatching this one in the very near future with the third film coming out, so very, very cool. Thank you much. And then we've got, part 1, we discussed this already, but I guess it was part 2. I guess it wasn't paying attention that there was part 2, so I probably should have known that there was going to be a part 1 somewhere. Then we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania in Steelbook, continuing to complete my MCU collection. Rosemary's Baby. I watched this for the first time just last year. Hadn't seen it before that, and with the prequel that came out as a streaming original, had to watch the original. So I actually watched it the first time, and it's like the sort of movie that like you think of older films as being, they're not quite as intense, and they couldn't do like some of the shocking gore that we do now, but they're like horrifying, trippy, and disturbing in their own ways, and that was certainly the case with that film. We got Knock at the Cabin, the M. Night Shyamalan film. I need to watch this one with my wife, like show her we like Dave Bautista, and that's a thriller, horror adjacent film that she might actually be willing to watch with me, and watch Dave Bautista kind of give a more performance. Fast X. These are my guilty pleasure movies right here. Have a lot of fun with these ones, and we got a new one. I don't know. Actually, I don't know when. It seemed like we are going to do it back to back, and then that clearly did not happen. So I don't know when we're going to get the 11th film or whatever's going on with all of that, but play catch up whenever time there. We got Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. These are just fun animated films that they go all in on the hardcore R aspect, all of those ones. With the new movie coming out later this year, I'll probably do some sort of deep dive into the Mortal Kombat animated film. So I don't know if I'll throw them into my main ranking of the Mortal Kombat films, or how I'll do all of that. But certainly it's on my radar to want to do that, and so that'll help me make that happen. Final one in here, we have Fences, the movie starring and directed by Denzel Washington. Last time I got my hair cut, before I was going to the Critics' Choice, the guy that cut my hair here in Hutto, Texas, was talking about how he's like friends with the producer of this movie, or like he cuts the producer of this movie's hair. He specifically mentioned Fences, and I don't remember the other movie the guy produced. I don't even know what the guy's name was. He said Fences. Is like, oh, I know exactly what that is, but I haven't actually seen it before, and now I have it and can potentially do so. Hey guys, thank you so much for your generosity. It means the world to me that anyone cares what I have to say, let alone leave a comment, subscribe, support on Patreon, or send in fan mail. Thank you so much. Hopefully I will do a much better job of doing my fan mails on a regular basis in 2025 and stop overthinking it, not saving it up until I have all the do it on a monthly basis, something like that, and hopefully maybe even have more content over here with the kids or something like that. Hey, once again, truly, thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies and TV and fan mail too much.